Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the UIM Completionist. In the last one I did a metric ton of corrupted Gauntlet and we snagged both the pet and this bad boy, the enhanced crystal seed that we turned into the bow of Ferdinand. And that means I am done with that place for now. The Gauntlet log is green and we can move on from that hellscape. And as a break in the last episode, I also did a little bit of Moss Giants and some Bryophyta. We didn't snag the essence, but we did get a little bit of those beginner clue uniques. But now with the bow created, I really itch to go and shoot some stuff with it. So I will be going back to Slayer. We will be changing our block list to better suit using more of this bow. And well, I just hope you'll enjoy. Just a couple kills into the task and we already got the collection log slot for the Mystic Hat Light. I previously decided not to kill regular basilisks because we would have to kill those knights anyways. So yeah, now we're reaping the benefits. No way, dude. In one task, a 1 in 1,000 drop, the Basilisk jaw. To be honest, I am not really sure if I even want to keep it. It's a big one, so I will think about it for a long time, but my bag is not too great at the moment. And I'm not really sure if the upgrade will be substantial. I will ask the boys and girls in the Discord and we will figure out an answer. They'll probably say it's worth keeping because they're all PVM beasts, but well, worst case scenario, we just got 17 mil for the reg and a new collection log slot. We got a lucky impling called by Boats and Woes. If I can catch it, that is. Come on. Adamant Longsword. Okay. After some initial consideration, I've decided I will be holding on to the Basilisk Jaw for now. It's the best in slot melee helm until Torva, and that is a long ways away. I can always drop it, but if I'm having doubts, it's best to hold on to it, especially since I have 4 empty slots in the bag so far, so I think I can hold on to it for now. And we will be making some changes in the Slayer list. I will be locking the Basilisks again, so that goes bye-bye. But we will be unlocking the Lizardman, so we can do Lizardman shamans. I should also unlock Tsar soon, but I don't think there's time for it yet. We'll do it slow and steady. I would like to keep a healthy balance of points, at least for a little bit. Minions of Scabaras, or what even is this? I'm gonna be canceling this task, and I also noticed we have Calfights blocked, so that will have to be fixed so we can use our new toy. No. Lizardman. Yep, so we got the first shaman's task. Let's gear for that. It's still not yet the time to use the bow because blowpipe is actually the best DPS on those, and I still have a little bit of amethyst darts, so it would be perfect to use them up. And then I can bag the pipe. My inventory is extremely cramped, as you can see, but hopefully we can manage with that. I brought some super anti-poisons. They take quite a long time to gather, so if it's enough in the future, I will just be buying a regular anti-poison at Karamja because that's pretty fast to get. And I have 3 prayer potions and 3 pieces of food, so yeah, if I can manage like 10 kills a trip, that's fine by me. If less, then probably we will have to make some changes. Lastly, I've killed 3 shamans so far. None this trip, it was all previous for the diary, etc. So Still very new to this, but I don't think they will be too mechanically hard to do. First trip done, we got a clean 30 kills in one trip, so this is not too bad. And I think for the future I will bring more prayer potions and less food, just because the shamans drop chili potatoes plus the healing special attack of blowpipe is good enough to keep me top. One issue I noticed now more than before is that I don't actually have any ranging potions, and if we're about to switch to a mostly ranged meta, it would be good to have them. I do have 650 dwarf weeds for this reason, but I really can't be bothered to telegraph 650 wines, so I guess we'll just have to wait for our first Calphite Queen task, and then hopefully after that we should have enough wines to make all of those dwarves into ranging potions, and that will have to suffice for a little while. I don't know why I kept getting tasks from Steve, must have been force of habit from my other accounts, but we're gonna switch to Duradel. He has a much better weighting on stuff that we want, and I just said that and he gave me Sukwas. That is fantastic. That is getting blocked. That's devils. I got a Greater Demons Slayer task, and we also have a Dark Totem, so I thought this would be a perfect time to whip out the Arclight and really get Skotizo down easily, but then I realized, why not just take the bow to Skotizo? The worst thing that can happen is we lose a Dark Totem, so that is a no biggie because I keep losing those Dark Totems left and right. We will have to kill those altars without a guaranteed 100 hit, but they will not respawn, so we should be okay. Okay, this took way longer than with the Arclight. Oh, we also got the Dark Claw, so that is a cool thing to get. Back to the kill method itself though, this took way longer than the Arclight because the altars actually do respawn. I thought they don't, but apparently they do. I don't know where I got that information from, but it has to be false. Yeah, so here's the thing. With the bow, it took a longest time, but we are safe. But with Arclight, it takes faster, but we are not guaranteed to get it. So I'm not yet sure which one I'll use, but pretty cool to know, I guess. I don't know, I have to think. Spent a lovely day at work AFKing Daganov, so we got pretty good seeds. Also a mystery box. Fantastic. And 5 medium clues. The master. And 1 unique, Mithril Plate Body Tea. 2 uniques actually, White Elegant Blouse too. Let me quickly pick this up, so I don't lose anything, and we will go do that master. When doing Slayer, I do get a lot of clues, so I tend to do them, and when you're playing UIM, every inventory space matters, so that's why, even though I love doing big clue openings, I just have to open random clues like this, and there's gonna be a bunch of clips of openings. So this time, I will hope to stack as many hard clues from all the Slayer training I'm gonna do as possible. And obviously our master stack is growing and we are not touching that. But I do have 1 elite from Skotizo. And we got the absolutely sexiest item in the game. I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we have 1 more elite casket to open. And by the way, this is what I meant before when I said there's gonna be a bunch of those small clips. Since I need inventory space, I gotta open this 1 elite, and there's gonna be a bunch of clips like that. Dragon Scimitar Ornament Kit. Yes, we can now store a dragon scimitar in our POH, so I'll do that in a second. But apart from that, the bad news is I got a Black Demon's task, so we are gonna do Demonic Gorillas, and this is the setup I'm gonna use. If we drop this for a second, then this is all the space I have to work with. That's 4 inventory slots for food, and if I get pretty good at switches, although I haven't done the gorillas for a year or so, I will probably switch 1 food for a prayer potion. I would also like to use a super combat, but you know, there is like no way in hell I can use a super combat when I don't even have food, so let's see how good this gets with 4 empty inventory slots. After a couple trips, I decided to pull the plug and I bagged my blowpipe, the trident, and the darts. If we get a task that would use any of those, then we would have to rebag, but come on, for most of those I would have to rebag anyways. There's no way I'm doing any bosses with like 4 food. So that opened up a little bit of breathing room, and I also alked my dragon battle axe. We will buy it back when we need it. So that gave me 1 more food, and now I'm running to the task with the arc light and the offhand in hand, so I can bring 1 more food, and I just drop it at the start. So with that, with all of those minor optimizations, we went from 4 food to 7 food and 1 prayer potion, and when my herbs grow and I can plant the rest of those snapdragons, we will move to 8 food, so that's double the food stack plus a prayer pot, not too bad. Oh, 1 more small thing. I passed 300 days played on the account. My brain is definitely too small to switch prayers, switch weapons, and record at the same time and be coherent. So I'm recording after the trip. We got the ballista limbs, so that's a collection log slot done. And in the past we got a slot for Zenite, obviously, because I have the Ring of Suffering, but we also had the heavy frame. There is absolutely no reason for me to keep any ballista parts whatsoever, so this is just a 30k Alk. And we also got this 1 elite clue. I know how you love those 1 clue clips, so let's get straight to opening that. And we get rewarded with a master. Finished the demonics task, and I checked the date on my recordings, and I started this task 4 days ago. Work has been hell, and I don't have much time to play in the evenings. Anyways, let's take next assignment. And we got Hellhounds, which means we are back to my main boss, Cerberus. This is the one I've been waiting for the most. We have another shot to get those prims and turn those weak-looking shoes into the red Jordans. Another elite clue? Musketeer pants. I did some trips with Arclight at Cerb, and the kills were really fast, but the supplies were drained fast too, and I usually could do 1, maybe 2 kills per trip if I got lucky. So I decided to switch to Bofa for a second. I will be trying it out. The DPS is far lower. There is about 1.7 DPS difference. That makes Arclight better, mostly because I use super combats and I have piety, as opposed to Bofa, where I don't have any ranging potions and I cannot use rigor. But my idea for testing this out is that if I stand far away from the boss, I will not get meleeed, and then maybe I will be able to retain more food and maybe extend the trips to like 2-3 kills per trip. That would probably make it faster overall because the run here is decently long. Did a couple trips with the bow and I'm switching back to Arclight. It did up my consistency to consistent 2 kills per trip, and it was way easier to deal with lava pools. But I think Arclight's DPS is just much more valuable, and without any ranging pots, there is no point in bringing the Bofa here. I did recalculate the DPS with ranging pots if I had them, and it shot up from minus 1.7 DPS compared to Arclight to just minus half, so 1.2 DPS higher. I actually had no idea ranging pots have such an effect on DPS. So yeah, I think this would be actually perfect to bring the bow to Serb if we have ranging potions, but without, I think we are sticking with Arclight. I just died at Serb and went back and died again, so here's 2 supply piles. If I don't get at least 5 kill trip out of this, I am rioting. I got 4 kills, so that's fine by me, but we're on thin ice, Jagex. One more elite clue. Black D'hide body G. Let me check, I'm not sure, but it might be a full Black D'hide. No. Okay, I must be messing that up, but yeah, a unique. Alright, I thought about it, and enough is enough. I'm doing Serb 1 to 2 kills per trip, and I keep dying often because I try to stretch those trips as much as possible because the run there is just far too long. So I've decided I will be bagging 3 of my items to get more space and make the trips longer because of that. But to bag those 3 items, I'm gonna be bagging Occult, Ancient Staff, and the Lens. I need to make space in my looting bag, and those 3 items are long time coming to be dropped. I'm gonna be dropping my 40k coal. Coal is actually a trap on UIM. A lot of people think it might be useful, myself included for the longest time. But then you start thinking about places where you'd want to use it, and there's actually absolutely no good use at all. It would be great on a free-to-play UIM, but on a pay-to-play, all your raw ore you want to process at Blast Furnace, and then it's just far quicker to buy the coal from a guy that stands next to you and spend pennies on it and not run many more tiles to the bank to withdraw. And the second thing I'm gonna be dropping is those oak planks. I had a very secret plan that the next skill that will be announced will probably require planks like sailing or even bard. So I wanted to be ahead of the curve with some noted planks ready. But the only planks that I could feasibly store were oak planks. And these aren't the greatest. Also, there is no confirmation that a next skill is coming at all. So this is just a dead inventory slot. I could use this up, but I really can't be bothered. As for sharks, I will be keeping the sharks and I will be cooking them soon. This is like 1.2 mil cooking XP, so I'm not willing to pass on that, but the coal and the planks are going. That's like 6 mil worth of loot. Actually, before I commit to just cooking and dropping all of those sharks, I decided why not test them at Serb, so this is what the new setup looks like. We have 1 more piece of food and 1 more prayer potion, but because the food we're using now is sharks and not potatoes, we are able to hit for 180 with those 9 sharks as opposed to 128 that 8 potatoes gave us. So this is like 3 potatoes more, so that should definitely make it 2 trips guaranteed, 2 kills per trip guaranteed, and possibly a 3rd kill. I started the task with 175 hellhounds to kill, and so we did like about 120-ish kills. And I just now got my first Keymaster teleports of this task. I had to do this little run every time, and I kind of forgot that Serb drops them, so yeah, massive convenience drop. Finished the entire Serb task, got no uniques. Let's see what we get. Necrials, very nice. After the Necrials task, we got a Skeletal Wyverns task, and sadly we didn't get the Dragon Skirt, so we still need that for the Master Stash. And after that we got a Cave Kraken task, so I decided, you know what, I'm tired of doing boss tasks with a semi-efficient inventory. So I went ahead, went to Hespori and set up my inventory in the most efficient way possible, at least for me right now. So we have a bunch of those sharks, and I stored stuff like my Fury and the Whip, etc. in the bag, and we're gonna use the Trident of the Swamp. And for my armor, I'm still gonna use the Crystal Body and Legs because they have decent magic bonuses. If we check the log, that's the last thing. I have just 26 KC on Kraken way back in the day, when I tried to get my original trident, and we have nothing in the log, so let's hope for some slots filled. This boss is so unbelievably chill to kill. You just throw the fishing explosive and you can recline all the way. Your character will start attacking automatically. Fantastic boss. Although the loot is nothing to write home about. There is our new collection log slot, the Kraken tentacle. I was AFKing pretty hard and didn't notice the pop-up at first. Let's pick this up real quick. With the Kraken tentacle, you can either use it on a whip, which increases its DPS, but after 10,000 hits you lose the whip, or you can give it to Leave Mac Kraken, and if you gather 10 of those, it will increase the number of charges you can have on your trident. I think it was from 2,500 to 20,000, and recharging this stuff is pretty annoying, so I would like to eventually get it, but it's not one of my priorities or anything. So yeah, we have now 1 out of 10 Kraken tentacles stored. Fantastic task, instantly one of my favorites. The only issue is you gotta re-gear and throw your regular Slayer stuff into the bag to do it properly. So I wouldn't be too mad with a back-to-back, but we got Dark Beasts. I was hoping to maybe get Cave Kraken after the Dark Beasts, but we got Black Demons and that means Gorillas, so that means it's back to Hespori for me. I was about to think we're gonna finish this task too without any drops, but here we go, a Zenite shard. This is gonna be going to the bag for the time being, probably. I have some plans where the content we're gonna do next is one of those that drops a Onyx, so we will probably get the Onyx from there and not have to spend any Chaos Runes or GP to get an Onyx. That's Galaxy Brain strategies right there. And that Onyx dropping content I've mentioned earlier will be Zulrah. Now, in the past, like 2 years ago, I did Zulrah and got one of each uniques, Magic Fang, Serb Visage, and the Tanzanite Fang in 298 KC, and then I just dipped. So since then, we've upgraded our gear and stats tremendously, so I've been meaning to come back, and I think now is the perfect time. We have that Zenite shard, and while it might be kinda counterintuitive to not make the Anguish beforehand for Zulrah, yes, I will be making an Anguish from the Zenite. I would like to save up on some Chaos Runes, so why not try and snag an Onyx there. From the supplies that Zulrah drops, of course, the scales will be very useful, and also I would like to keep just one thing, and that will be the U-logs for our future fletching goal. So one thing had to go, and that thing will be Amethyst Darts. They are very useful for shamans and pretty much nothing else. For all the other places I would like to use Blowpipe at, Mithril Darts will suffice for monsters like Hill Giants, Moss Giants, and the Champion Cape monsters. So the Amethyst Darts will be going to my reg. And to maximize backspace for Zulrah, we're gonna be opening those 10 hard clues I got while training Slayer. We're gonna pet the dog for good luck, and let's get to the opening. Good luck it is! A unique first clue. And a couple clues later, another unique, the Rune Cane, together with Saradomin Bracers in the same clue. Fantastic, 2 new uniques, especially the Sara Bracers. If we manage to finish the Sara set, these will be very, very, very useful in the God Wars dungeon. And another one, Rune Plate Skirt T. And yet another one, Ancient Kite Shield. Last 2 clues to go. Nothing in the first one. and nothing in the last one. But definitely petting the dog here in the Myths Guild was the right strategy. Had to tally out once because of an attempt that didn't go too well, but second attempt we already got our new personal best. I don't remember what it was before, but it feels fantastic to start getting back into the groove of things, and maybe I can start doing 2-kill trips actually. And we got yet another personal best, 155, but if we check before, just 1 KC earlier, I also got 155 as my new personal best, so this must be better by literally 1 tick, so it doesn't round down the second barrier. I thought that was pretty damn interesting. It's Monday morning and I don't really do Zulrah at work, so I switched to doing Cave Kraken because we just got that task before switching to Zulrah, and I just had the most productive meeting out of all the time I worked there pretty much, because we just got the full Trident of the Seas, and that's a new collection log slot. I'm just looking at this like runes to recharge my own trident, but a new slot is a slot always, and we very happy. And yet another collection log slot filled. This time it's the Jar of Dirt. We've been getting exceedingly lucky here. Let me quickly find the Kraken. In just 188 kills we have everything except the pet, so yeah, very spooned here. I checked the Kraken table at Wiki, and at 188 KC we are not even halfway to any of those items yet, drop rate wise. Kraken Tentacle is 1 in 400, the full Trident is 1 in 512, and the Jar of Dirt is 1 in 1000, so that is just crazy to me. That also probably means that after this task I will be blocking Kraken. There is pretty much no way I will be staying just for the pet. Maybe someday in the future, but probably an easy block now. And that's a shame because I really enjoyed this task. There's one thing that I didn't stop to think about, and now I can see the results. Let's check the crystal body and look how many charges this little freaking tentacles took from me. Thankfully I have a bunch of crystal shards, but yeah, I'm glad we're no longer doing Kraken for the foreseeable future, because then I wouldn't be able to keep up. Didn't notice last KC, but we lowered our personal best by 3 seconds more to 152, and now listen to me closely, Jagex, okay? Instead of showing me a lower personal best, show me a unique, preferably an onyx, but a pet or a jar or anything new would also be fine, alright? Thanks. And another personal best, this time by a whopping 8 seconds, I think, to 144. And that is clean 400 KC. We got no uniques in that 102 we just did, and if I'm being honest, I can feel the fatigue seeping in, so I'm gonna call it quits right here. I'm not a PVM beast like many out there, and I need a lot of breaks, so for the next video I'm probably gonna start with something heavily AFK. I've been meaning to play some other games for a long time, and I just need a little bit of break from high intensity PVMing, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching this video. We got some pretty good drops now in this one, and hopefully the trend continues with the next one, maybe not with PVM, maybe with something else. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.